Hello everyone, welcome back to LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, where today we are doing Chapter 6 of the New Hope series of missions. Chapter 6, Rebel Attack, which if I recall correctly is the attack on the Death Star itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right in and we're going to get started. So as you just saw, we are now attacking the Death Star itself. This mission is mostly just us flying around kind of the surface of the Death Star, destroying different sections and stuff to just kind of make our way through to the trench. It's not really anything too interesting, too fancy here. Just not actually a lot for me to talk about. And of course, I think thinking about it, actually, it's one of those missions, one of the few missions actually that I don't enjoy doing, for some of the reasons why I didn't initially enjoy doing the pod racing mission, because the controls aren't very intuitive, and so it's really hard to kind of fly around to get everything done. However, I do endeavour to get the at least the it's the True Jedi that I go for mostly in this one, mostly because I'm aware that it's, well, I wasn't actually aware of how easy it was. I just kind of assumed, because it's a mission where you're flying around, that they might not make it as difficult to get True Jedi. But taking out targets is definitely a harder thing to do. Yeah, it's not actually a lot to talk about. I spent probably a wee bit too long trying to get the canister out of this one, but I get there in the end. Embarrassing how long it took to get there, but did get there in the end. And I don't know why I fly around, but I do. So, like, I was just trying to get a hang of the controls again, as you usually do. Those turrets become a bane of my existence. I don't enjoy having to deal with them. But I think a really cool thing that LEGO Star Wars, the original trilogy, I think it's called, or LEGO Star Wars 2 rather, a really cool thing that it brings in, part of the space missions, and I think we see it in the episode 2 mission, chapter 1, I can't remember. But you have to pick up like the pink glowing balls, and you use them as like bombs, and it's very similar to the. It's also very similar. Actually, it's also very similar to the Genosians mission. I think it's chapter 5, where you have to pick up, I think, bombs. I think they're rolling ones as well in that one. But the point is, you pick up the bombs and you have to basically launch them at the pink targets. They can only be destroyed by proton torpedoes is what those pink ones are. Here we're just switching over into another into another part of the overall map and getting annihilated by the turrets in the process. Something I don't quite enjoy about this level design is that running into the walls hurts, and it's really easy to run into the walls. I suppose if I altered the settings, it could be made to be slightly easier, but I have my doubts. There, I think I was kind of lucky to destroy both of those dishes in one shot. Well, not one shot, but one fairly a couple of consecutive shots for sure. Yeah. Trying to get that health, that heart, but it didn't happen. So that canister I got fairly easily, I think, because I figured out what I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do to start with, but it was just a case of trying to get it to work. And then, yeah, just more of the same, destroying the pink targets, the proton targets, to deactivate the shields in between each section of the mission so that we can progress further. And then just flying around like a nutcase trying to figure out what I'm doing. Oh hey, more TIE fighters deployment that needs to be destroyed. I think, yeah, no, we are super close to getting True Jedi. Just slightly off there, but not anywhere near the end of the mission by any stretch of the imagination. We have it. Last one destroyed. One heart left. Two hearts. Back to one heart, back to two hearts. I think I'm trying to collect hearts before I move on to the rest of the mission, but I mean, anyone's guess at this point. And flying into a TIE fighter is always the best way to destroy it. And then we have True Jedi. Not particularly hard thing to do. You just gotta shoot a bunch of stuff. That's about the end of it. Now I think here, yes, they provide you with torpedoes. And I'm slowly getting the hang of the controls. Obviously it's a bit tricky still, but I went back to just check to make sure that I got that last torpedo in to see how many torpedoes I needed to continue. And then without further ado, we are moving on. Oh, taking shots from TIE fighters. I say we're moving on, we're not moving on. I don't know why we're not moving on. And there we have it. On to the next stage. Spending a little bit of time to make sure that we clear out the turrets so that we can actually do what we need to do. And we've got the True Jedi drop. Which gives us a tractor beam, which I believe slowly destroys any opponents that get caught in it. torpedoes destroyed. Not that hard to do. Really, it's just making sure you don't crash too often, or don't get shot down too often. And here I grabbed 3 more proton torpedoes, because we've got 8 of the targets to destroy. Get the canister, which brings us up to 4 canisters. Of course you need to get 10 canisters to unlock the special build, but that's fine. Then here I think I only grabbed 2 torpedoes, because I'm like, yeah, whatever, need 2 torpedoes to keep going. But it ends up taking more than just 2, because I don't wait for it to lock on to the actual proton torpedo target, and it takes me a little bit to figure it out. Because as you can probably see, the ray shield itself is faltering, and I'm like, oh, must have not hit. So I make sure of it. And there I am, just checking to make sure it had actually done what I said it would do. Here we are in the trench itself. I do try several times to shake off and destroy some of the TIE fighters, but obviously to no avail. Again, I get shot down in the process of trying. Then I believe I actually reach the end of it, and I forget that I lost the torpedo. I think I head back in an attempt to try and snag it again. And then decide actually I'm going to just go for it, because maybe there's a tube down the end. So I get down here and I discover actually no, there's no torpedo tubes, no proton torpedo dispensers, whatever you want to call them. But I decide to, I'll use this time here to just kind of knock out the rest of these things, the rest of the turrets, before we continue on. And I discover that there's a canister over here as well. So I grab that. That's probably the quickest one I've tried to get within this mission, which is fairly nice. And then of course I have to head back down the trench to find a proton torpedo dispenser, and then get some tires on our tail. So I spend a little bit of time trying to knock them off. I don't think it works in the end. No, not quite. No, we knocked one off. And if I had decided to just play it safe and fly down the center, I would have been fine, but I don't. I tried doing fancy stuff, and of course that results in me taking a hit that I probably didn't need to take. So of course I have to quickly fly back, grab the stuff that we lost, which we only barely manage. I probably could have used the torpedo tube to knock them out, but didn't, so. But there we have it, end of the mission. you have it. That was chapter 6, and wrapping up A New Hope for LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Next time, we will be moving on to, if I can remember correctly, Empire Strikes Back with, I believe it's the Battle of Hoth. Yes, Hoth Battle. So you all have that to look forward to in the next episode. Until then, until next time, keep being awesome everyone, and I hope to see you